Each year, we solemnly honour our fallen war heroes, and we promise never to let their memories fade. But what of those who served and returned home, only to fight a never-ending war within themselves?
Stay back, stay back!
It affected me much more than I thought it would, and I found it much more difficult to recover from those difficulties. It led me to becoming homeless and becoming suicidal and hopeless. Really led me to the depths of despair. Struggling to stay alive, basically. There were a lot of times when I just thought that life was over.
200 metres, Brisbane!
Right at the same time I discharged, things were falling apart. My marriage fell apart. I lost custody of my kids. And I just ran.
They had all headed off to serve with high hopes and clear minds. But their stories had far different endings to those they imagined.
I know some out there that have done 10 or 12 tours, that's 4 or 5 years in a war zone. You've only got to see what 12 months did to our Vietnam veterans and their kids.
One wound, yeah, okay, I can survive and heal, maybe. But if you get another wound and another wound and another wound, it gets harder and harder to heal and be well. And the same thing applies to emotional trauma.
From an outsider looking in, what happens is I just become a maniac, like a loud noise, lots of people, I'm feeling anxious, and the way it comes across is that I'm just being really aggressive, because I feel like my life's threatened, and so I kind of, respond accordingly.
The suicide rate of our veterans under 30 is twice the national average.
Every day brings hope with it because it's another day that we're together. It's really difficult that the kids understand that too. It's more likely that they'll lose their dad to suicide than a natural cause or to age.
Oh look, the reality is if I didn't have Lisa and the kids, I wouldn't be here. I'd be dead.
Australia has more than 600,000 living veterans. Almost 40,000 of these, an entire generation, fought in our longest war, the Afghanistan conflict, which started after the 9/11 terrorism attack in 2001. We lost 41 men killed in action in Afghanistan. Yet over that same period, more than 700 serving and retired veterans took their own lives.
Yeah, look, I've had some friends take their own lives that I never saw coming, unfortunately, in the veteran and the civilian world, and it's a problem that we have across our country and across the world.
All too often, entire families are shattered when veterans take their own lives.
Ian Turner was a specialist army corporal who put his life on the line for our country. But today, his life and how it ended was under the spotlight.
The system let him down, totally and utterly. And I think there's a lot of things that need to be done so as it doesn't happen to others. There are people losing their lives, at least one a week, I believe. A lot of them are people who have stepped out, but there are some who are still serving like Ian was, and they're just not getting the support that they need.
1 in 20 of Australia's homeless is a veteran, and far too many fight a life and death battle with PTSD.
I was just a bundle of misery, really. I was toying with, all sorts of stupid ideas and about, I can't do this anymore and how can this go on?
My brain was being affected, my body was being affected, and my soul was being affected. And I think when you are working very hard, working very long hours, you can keep the symptoms at bay for a period of time, but it catches up with you. And it did eventually catch up with me. It's a significant mental health toll. It's a crisis. It needs to be addressed And at the moment, it's just being swept under the carpet.